Mothra is a real deceiver. She takes Jill on a magic carpet ride, essentially, through the air. If we hearken back to, oh, I can't mention his name, but what did he want? He wanted wings. Well, Jill is getting to experience what it would be like to have wings, which is the promise of Mothra. So off they go, fluttering away, and keep in mind, too, that Guts is in a bit of a dilemma. He was ready to use his mega sword to slice Mothra in half, but she had a hold of Jill. And he stayed his blade rather than risk killing Jill too. Which tells us that Guts, how should we put it? He's a paradox. There's a part of him that just wants to go and destroy, seek out evildoers, as he would say, and destroy them. That's really what he wants to do. And everything he's doing from this point on has been to accomplish that task. So he's kind of heartless, but let's not forget that his conscience has arrived. Puck. Puck that always is yelling and screaming at him, saying, don't do it this way. You're not that kind of a person. You're actually a good guy. You just don't notice it. And, Guts is the classic man. He hardly exists today. He's what I think Jordan Peterson would say is a dangerous man.
They should make themselves competent and dangerous and take their proper place in the world.
Why dangerous?
Because it's the alternative to being weak. Those who have swords and know how to use them but keep them sheathed will inherit the world.
And a dangerous man is the guy you run to when real danger shows up. They're the ones that face the dragons. In society today, a guy like Guts wouldn't get along very well. He would be hated. Half the population would hate Guts, and the other half would say, no, Guts is good. I'm in that half that says Guts is good because he's a dangerous man, and you got to have some dangerous men around if society is to operate. Don't read too much into that dangerous man to mean wicked man. It is not. It's just a formidable man. It's a man you don't mess with. It's the good guy in the Hells Angels group. It's the Western cowboy, Clint Eastwood type, who don't mess with him. Don't mess with him. To a younger generation, he's Wolverine. They're all dangerous men. They're all dangerous men. At their heart, though, even though they don't always know it, they're always good guys, deep down. And Guts doesn't want to accept it because, let's face it, good guys, they get married, they settle down, and he's on a mission. Destroy he whose name must not be mentioned. And so what does he do? He takes off after Jill. And he's going to encounter some real problems because at the forest is the protectors of those elven creatures. And they are not good guys. They are previously devoured warriors, which are the ones that captured Jill, who are now trying to protect the forest creatures who are elven-like creatures who devour. He's met with these men. They're not so tough. One of them was pretty tough, but before he could dispatch Guts with his pinchers around his neck, he found that Guts has a multi-tool. And he put 6 arrows through the guy's abdomen, tossed him aside, and continued on with his journey to save Jill. But now he meets a couple of really bad dudes. Regular corn pops, if you ask me. And one transforms into a praying mantis. Nobody likes praying mantises. And the other is a gigantic, I'm going to call him a la cucaracha, kind of a cockroach with an attitude and a bad one. And they're fighting together, unlike the horde that attacked Guts. These two knew how to fight together. These two were smart enough to fight together, and Guts was having a tough time of it. Remember, they're supernatural, demonic monsters, and they're coming at him from the front and behind him. And it seemed like he sent those two rolling, half one way, half the other. On he goes with his journey. Puck shows up. Puck, who said, I'm done with you. He's never done with Guts. Puck encounters these elfin creatures, and he thinks they're kind of like him, but they know something's not right, and they kind of surround him, and he does like a Foster freeze on him. I guess you could say escapes. And he escapes to his friend Jill, who he is warning, you gotta get out of here. But I'm gonna get wings, she says, and isn't my friend Mothra really very nice, and doesn't she care about me? And Puck's trying to tell her, You got to get out of here. They're not good creatures. They're evil, and you got to go. With Jill, she's got a conflict going on in her mind the same way Guts does. Her conflict is to go home or to stay here. If you ask me, neither decision is good. She shouldn't stay with the elven queen, Mothra. She's not her old friend. And she shouldn't go back to that village because her parents weren't very good. The villagers weren't very good. There was no safety. So where is she going to go? We have to just expect that she's going to go somewhere else. But I'm relatively confident that Puck will be able to entice her to sneak away somehow. I don't think Mothra is going to say, "Oh, you just go ahead and go home." No way. So she's going to have to sneak away somehow. That's my prediction anyway. As far as Guts go, his battle is a mental battle. Am I a dangerous man who's essentially good? That's what I think he is. Or is he just a man on a rampage, which I don't think he is. I've already kind of predicted that one day he's going to meet up with you-know-who must not be named. Boy, is that going to be a conflict. He's got a long way to go. But he has to settle some things on the way, which is, who am I? I think he's going to discover that he's a dangerous man who cares about people. We'll find out, but not tonight.